Good morning and welcome to another live stream. First things first, look, I really need everyone's help. I need 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. If I get 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of watch hours, I can start get paid by YouTube. And it's not much money from what I'm told, but every little bit helps. I only get part pension because my wife works, and I can't afford the streaming service that I usually run on. It's a few $100s a year and all the other bits and pieces that I need. So if I can get people to hit that subscribe button, then slip over and hit the notifications icon and select all. That way, as soon as I put new stuff out, you'll be notified straight away. I also want to give a big shout out to Loma Nasser. She's a huge supporter of this channel. She shares and watches the streams that we do very regularly. So thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate your support. Now, I was looking on YouTube and I come across this story. It was on the project, Channel 10. I'll just display that video. I'll let you watch the video first and I'll make my comments at the end of it.
Brother has epilepsy, developmental delays, scoliosis in his back. He's undiagnosed autistic. He's nonverbal, sensitive to light, sensitive to sounds.
37-year-old Stephen has been reliant on carers his entire life.
He is wheelchair-bound, bedridden. He has to be hoisted from a hoist overhead from his bed to his wheelchair. He's showered by the carers. He's fed by the carers. He's nil by mouth, so he doesn't have food or any medication by his mouth. It's all done by a peg and a catheter he uses.
Until recently, his mum, Kathy, had been his primary carer.
A couple of years ago, my mum was diagnosed with breast cancer. We found out about 6 months ago that it has now moved to the brain.
The family receives an annual plan from the NDIS, which allows for 10 hours of care per day for Stephen. But because of Kathy's declining health, the family had been using carers for 15 hours a day. Because of this, the funds ran out 3 months before it was due to be renewed, but the carers chose to continue helping.
I've been working with Stephen for 10 years. Kath said that the money was running low. We kind of knew because we always keep an eye on it. And I just kind of said to Kath, you know, if I don't work, I don't get paid. If I work, I don't get paid. I may as well be here and, you know, helping you out. I went 4 weeks with no income coming in at all.
The family told their local MP, Julian Hill, about their situation and got their plan topped up, but it's still not enough.
So we're working 2.5, 3 hours a day for free still. You work with families, you work with clients, you care about them. You can't just do it for the money and do it well. So they need us. We're there for them.
To pay back the carers for their lost wages, Kylie has started a GoFundMe. So far, it has raised $12,000, but is still $18,000 short of its target.
If it wasn't for the girls being part of our family, he wouldn't have had any carers, and Mum, being in the condition she's in, would have had to care for him every day with no one else to help her.
Kylie's dad, Robert, also has his own health issues.
My dad has had a couple of strokes. A few of them ended up with him in hospital. It limits him on being able to lift Stephen, so we use the overhead hoist.
Kathy's health has taken a turn for the worse. She's been admitted to hospital after having seizures.
Her oncologist told her she had between 6 to 12 months left, and that's only if the treatment works. She's been trying her hardest to do everything still. She still makes sure Stephen's the #1 priority. Without Mum here, I'm struggling. I don't know what to do.
We hear from our members and advocacy clients a lot of people who are not given enough funding in their plans to begin with, where they're relying on the goodwill of others in the community to do free labour, or of often women in homes.
Disability advocate Trinity Ford says a lack of funding has a huge human cost.
The NDIS was designed to increase choice and control for people with disability and make sure that we can live lives with dignity. So when the scheme isn't meeting its purpose, then it means that we live undignified lives.
A spokesperson from the NDIS told us their priority is ensuring, quote, every participant like Stephen has access to the supports they need. Stephen has significant NDIS funding, and the agency continues to work with Stephen and his parents regarding his ongoing support needs. Last Friday, another blow for the family. Kathy's treatment isn't working. The only option now, palliative care.
I would say that the stress from Stephen and his NDIS plan running out and her trying to do everything she can to make sure Stephen has the care he needs, I believe is one of the things that is deteriorating her health more. I just want the NDIS to realise that there are several different levels of care that people need, and the reviews that they have for people in Stephen's position is not ideal. They need to realise everyone has a different level of care.
What really annoys me about that, the people that rip off the NDIS.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Those people need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
And you've got people running around ripping the system off. It's
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
I get it's a really complicated thing to do. I get this is a really hard program, but that is, we had exactly the same thought because it's the injustice, well, actually at both ends of that spectrum that is so hard to live with.
If you would like to support the Rieger family in paying back the carers, you can donate to their GoFundMe. Details are on our website.
All right.
Okay, so there we go. And the NDIS failing. Sort that.
No idea. Yeah, it's just in the background. It's not on the screen.
So there we go. The NDIS failing miserably yet again. Now this family's gone through a traumatic period. The father's had multiple strokes. The mother's gone into palliative care. The daughter, the sister of the gentleman who has a disability, she's struggling. What do? Who do they turn to? Those carers who gave up their time willingly to help that family out. The government should be racing over, kissing their butts to help that family. I mean, this is typical from carers. The overwhelming majority of carers really do care about their clients. They put their clients first, even at their own personal cost of not getting paid. Now, we all know prior to the NDIS, a person with a disability, their carer, dedicated their whole life to supporting that person, saved the government billions and billions and billions of dollars over the last 100 years. Hundreds of billions of dollars. Now, there's a carer's pension, a carer's allowance, which is bugger all. It does basically nothing. Even now, with the NDIS going, carers still save the government billions of dollars a year. And I mean billions. And yet we get people slamming support workers, calling them bum wipers, and all they need to do is wipe bums and cut up carrots. Now that person who's a former IAC member, chair of the Every Australian Counts organisation, made those comments. Well, what do you say to this story? Those carers giving up their own time at their own cost to help that family out when they really need it. That former IAC member, what is he doing? Nothing, absolutely nothing, apart from denigrating carers, support workers. Shame on you. You know who I'm talking about. The government should be running up to those support workers and kissing their backsides. What would that family do without those carers? And they're trying to repay them back with a GoFundMe page, $18,000 short. Well, the government should chip in $50,000. And the NDIS, the federal government says, well, we need to rein in the cost of the NDIS. The biggest waste of money from the NDIS is from the NDIS itself. They request report after report after report after report, cost $1,500 to $3,000 per report, and they came out last year and admitted they don't read them. Why have them? Why have those reports? Why spend that money on those reports? The NDIA, they get new staff in to review plans. What experience and skills do they have to do that job? What do they know about quadriplegia, paraplegia, cerebral palsy, autism, cognitive impairments, brain injuries? They're not required to have any skills or any work experience or any knowledge on the disability field. None. I know there's cleaners worked for the NDIA. People transferred from Centrelink and a tax office. No experience in disability field whatsoever. But these people are walking in, reviewing plans, cutting them dramatically, and what do they know about those disabilities? Bugger all. That's shameful. Absolutely shameful. Now, I've got documentation that there was senior management under contract, $500,000 a year. Person couldn't do their job, so they created another position and moved into one side because they were under contract and employed another person to do the job for $500,000 a year. The NDIS needs to change, and it can only change from the top down. I'm sick and tired of hearing media organisations laying the blame at people with disabilities' feet. We're at the bottom of the ladder. That money doesn't go to our bank accounts. It's all run through the NDIS. So what's the government? The government should be the regulators of the NDIS. They should be going and doing spot audits on service providers, independent support workers, clients of the NDIS, make sure they're doing the right thing. Now, last year I reported on a young woman who had a cognitive impairment, went to self-manage, spent $27,000 on things, on everyday items. The NDIS asked her to pay it back. She panicked and committed suicide. There are service providers out there who have branches in regional New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, West Australia, Queensland, Northern Territory. They have little branches everywhere. And I know in Western New South Wales last year, 3 people died from mismanagement from those service providers. Why is it?
Okay, I found this on the web. For 3 people died from mismanagement from their service providers. Check it out.
That's my Siri, stupid bloody thing. Those service providers are still operating. The branch has been shut down, but the main office is still open and running. Yes, I know some people with disabilities who have fudged the lines and got things they shouldn't have done. But most of the rorting comes from independent support workers and service providers who owe the NDIS millions of dollars, owe the tax office millions of dollars. One place last year, one organisation last year in the Central Coast owes the NDIS and the tax office millions and millions of dollars, owes their staff months and months of back pay, have taken all their clients' money, and what happened to them? They got banned for 2 years for working on the NDIS. They should be banned for life. I don't know the person personally, but I've heard of this person who provides one-on-one supports for 12 hours a day for 3 clients. Well, I'm not that good at maths, but I don't think you can get 36 hours into 24-hour day. Organised crime are rorting, according to the government, $2 billion a year. Like I said, the biggest waste of money of the NDIS is the NDIS itself. They're spending an extra $110 million to stop the fraud of the NDIS. I'm just sick and tired, especially from the media. They just think that people will get funding from the NDIS. They get it in their bank accounts and they can use it for whatever. It's not true. It's an absolute outright lie. But these support workers on that story gave up their own time at their own expense to provide services for that family. So if you want to help that GoFundMe out, I'll put a link into that story. Click on that link, it'll take to the YouTube channel and you'll see the relevant information there. But please go help those support workers get their money back. They're shy of $18,000. The government should be chipping in for that. Useless wankers. Also, I come across yesterday, my support worker and I were looking around on the internet. We come across this AI called AI Pixi, Pixi. It's an Australian company that have links with NASA, JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratories. The app, from what we understand, helps you make appointments and reminders and meal plans and does all this AI stuff to help people with disabilities organise their lives and become more independent. Now, I reached out yesterday to see if they were willing to come for an interview. I haven't heard back, but if anybody's using Hey Pixi, the AI, on a tablet or their computer, please contact me at blindadvocate007@gmail.com. So I'd love to learn more about it. I really would. Like I said, an Australian company, Australian AI, and I really want to support Australian businesses. But yeah, the setup looks on the expensive side, in my opinion. I use ChatGPT. I use the voice mode, so you can basically have conversations with this ChatGPT. and I can't afford the subscription, which is about $20 a month. So I only get limited access, like maybe 4 questions a day. But I ask it questions, and it goes back and thinks about it, and checks on the internet and comes back with the answer that I'm after, or the possible answer. Really, really good. I like the voice mode because, like I said, with the other AI, it's not all that accessible. That's why the voice mode, because I'm blind, the voice mode is really good for me. I actually got some information, and I actually recorded on a digital device. So I've got that stored now, so I can just refer back to that. So, but this Hey Pixi, obviously, I don't know all the details. It looks to be on the expensive side, but I'll reserve my opinion on that until I get more information. But like I said, that ChatGPT, the subscription is $20 a month. The NDIS won't fund it. I've asked. I don't know why they're doing this Hey Pixi, but not ChatGPT. Yeah. Anyway, well, that's probably about it for today. But please go to my YouTube channel, Blind Advocate, and subscribe. I really do need your help. And the link in the comment section there has a link to that web page on YouTube, and that'll take you to a link to the actual website, the GoFundMe website, where you can donate money so those support workers can get their back pay. Like I said, they're $18,000 short. So I know people are doing it hard. I'm doing it hard. I only get part pension because my wife works. But we need to help those support workers. Yeah. I hear stories like this on a regular basis where support workers go way above and beyond what they should be doing to help people out. And the government needs to recognise that. They really do. The NDIS board and the IOC need to recognise those support workers who do stuff like that. And they need to make an effort to support them. Because without them, those support workers, all support workers, where would we be? All right, we'll just end it there. Thanks, Chris. Okay, thanks, everyone.